All right, let's paint some tanks. I just got this cool Star Wars decoration for my birthday, so let's do something with it. I have this old terrarium, paludarium enclosure, and I used to keep a lizard in here. Since I've been living here, I am not allowed to have any reptiles in my apartment, so it's been empty. However, it can hold about 3 to 4 gallons of water on the bottom, and I think we can work with that. But first, we need to clean this up. First thing I gotta do is take the top off, and let's get everything out of here. So this is an old heat lamp. This is like a cool kind of fake mossy branch kind of wood structure. This is a Baby Yoda Chia that is very dirty and has seen better days. The little water tray for it. We've got a stick in here. The water bowl for when I had that lizard. Let's go ahead and open this. So inside you can see I've got a lot of the like the coconut husk substrate, and then I've got this cool background wall. It's foam. It just came with it. So we're gonna take that out for this, and we're gonna take out all that coconut substrate, and it's really dirty anyway. So let's go ahead and clean this up. So it's a lot bigger once you take this background out. So the background looks kind of cool, but it's like 2 to 3 inches thick, and we just don't need that. I'm gonna paint the background of the tank, the glass. One thing I was considering also was, instead of having this space with the door as the front, actually having it as the side, because of this this black rim here that kind of lets a little bit of excess moisture out, because that kind of gets in the way. I saw someone online do this, where they turn it to the side, and now you have a clear, unobstructed view straight into the tank. And then you can open the door from the side, so you can get into the side to do any kind of maintenance, and of course you can go through the top. So what I'm thinking is, once I go and hose out this tank, putting this in here, which fits like absolutely perfect to what I want, I'm thinking it's gonna look pretty cool. And then I have one secret thing that I picked up from Aquashala that we're gonna put in that's gonna give it just that extra kick. Before we get any of that done, I'm gonna go hose this out, get it nice and clean. And while it's drying, I'm gonna run down to Home Depot and pick up some more paint. All right, so I just took this outside and gave it a good hose out, and I just dried the outside. And let me just get the inside real quick. And it's kind of cold out there, so cold and humidity is kind of making this fog up a little bit. But I'm not gonna do a perfect job drying this out, just gonna get it mostly dry, and it'll air dry the rest of the way. Okay, so that's mostly dried out. We're gonna go ahead and let this air dry, and while it's drying, I'm gonna go and pick up some paint. All right, I'm back from the store, and now that the tank is mostly dried, let's tape it off. So this is gonna be a little bit different than a normal tank because I have this door here, but we're just gonna pretend that it's a solid piece, and I don't wanna get any paint on the inside anyway. So I'm gonna try to line up the tape on the edge, just like that. So I thought about spray painting, but it's raining outside, so we're gonna go with the next best method, which is using a foam roller with the paint. So you're just gonna wanna smear it on there. You can kind of get up into the frame here, like this. The first coat's not gonna be full coverage, but it's gonna give something for the second coat to adhere to. So we're just gonna go nice and even. You don't really want to use any pressure. If you go too hard, you start to smear. So just a nice, easy, very little pressure, consistent movement. It doesn't take a whole lot for this first coat, but let me just take this light here and I'll shine it in the tank, and you can see, you can totally still see through it and everything, but that'll be okay. This is just the base coat, and we'll probably do a couple more layers of this, and you'll be able to see that it's going to be nice and dark, and it's going to give us a nice blackout appearance from the inside. And just light pressure, almost no pressure. That looks pretty good. You can see it's much darker now. So go ahead and give that like another hour or so to dry. All right, so I have this light. It's really bright. I have it inside, and you can see it's got most coverage after 3 layers So that's gonna be all I'm gonna do. Now I'm gonna just go ahead and slide this back to where I want it. So here, the back is all black. You can't see the wall behind me. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some sand. All right, so I have the little Star Wars AT-AT in there. And I'll turn this. And I like where it's at. I think that's a pretty good spot. And I just rinsed out a whole bunch of sand. So I'm just gonna come and get a good scoop full and just start putting it in here. And I'm gonna kind of work around the decoration. Make sure I get the sand around it. And then I'm gonna start building up some of the sand around the base. I'll take my little aquascaping tool and kind of smooth it out. And I know there's not a whole lot you can see right now because it's kind of black. I'll put this light in so you can kind of see it a little bit better. But I'm gonna take the tool and just kind of smooth this out. I think I want it to kind of turn this way. All right, so that looks pretty good to me. I just kind of leveled it out a little bit and put it around him. And that's about the look I'm gonna go for. So let me go ahead and get some water in here, and then I can show you the cool thing I'm gonna add to really make it just that extra little bit cool. Okay, so I have some water next to me, but before I put it in, I'm gonna put a plastic bag in here just so I don't stir up the sand too much. And I'm gonna go ahead and start adding some of this water. All right, one more bucket of water here. Let me just not get it all over my floor. And just wipe up anything I spilled here. That's starting to come together pretty good, and I like the way it looks, but I want to add one more thing, and that's going to be this UNS atomizer kit. I got this while I was at Aquashella, and I think it's going to give it like a cool swampy Dagobah kind of look. So I'm going to go ahead and add that and see how it looks. So I put it in there. You can see it just underneath the AT-AT, and I just need to plug it in. I might have to build up the base of it a little bit with some more sand. We'll see in a minute. All right, it looks like it's on. But is it doing anything with the fog? I wonder if it needs to be higher up. Yeah, so it definitely needs to be higher up. I just got a glimpse of the camera. You can see it actually looks pretty cool right now. I'm gonna go ahead and install the splash guard because I think that'll help. It needs to be up a little bit higher. So what I'm gonna do is take some of that sand that I have and I'm gonna build up a little bit more. Okay, so I put the Aquarium Co-op Easy Planter in the back and it seemed to raise it just enough to where it's starting to get a little bit of mist in there. You can see it kind of coming across the front. I think if I put something underneath the fogger, it'll make it lift up just a little bit more. So I'm gonna try just putting this rock in there. Perfect height. All right, so the fog is starting to fill in. It's actually working now. This is pretty cool looking, I'm not gonna lie. So here's how it's looking. Let me blow it. See, there's like fog coming in from the mister I put in the back of the tank. So it's got like a Dagobah swamp kind of look to it now. And I think that's pretty cool. Here's from the side. And for any maintenance, I can open this door and have really nice, easy access into the tank and be able to do whatever I need to do. So I'm getting really excited. This is so cool. And I'm sure after a little while, the fog will be able to really fill up. And it won't go too high because there are these like air vents on the side, so that's perfect. But I mean, just look at this thing. So I'll let it sit there and build up. And whatever's too much, like overflows off the side. But this is starting to look really cool. I'll give it a minute here. All right, so this is about as good as it's gonna get for now. And I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out. If I zoom out, you can kind of see. Let's lower the camera a little bit. So there, we've got a foggy, misty, swampy look. I think it's supposed to kind of look like the walker is like abandoned in like the swamps of Dagobah. And from the top of the tank, you can see like a mossy, damaged thing. And then if I take the tape back off, fog just starts like pouring out of the side of this thing. I think this just looks so cool. Now it's only about 3.5 gallons of water. Maybe I can put some little white clouds or something, or some kind of nanofish. Preferably something that is cold water that I don't have to heat, because there's not a whole lot of room for a heater. Plus I think it would take away from how it looks. But I'm really happy with how this looks. This is so cool. I'm really happy with how this turned out so far, and if you are too, then subscribe to the channel and check out some of the other things I've been up to. If you want more behind the scenes content, then check me out on Instagram. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next one.